All right, I got a little bit ahead of myself because I'm excited. But today, Saturday, we're working on the station wagon. I already got part of it done. Part being lowering springs in the rear. So I'll show you that. So we're started on the front already, and I was like, oh, I should make a YouTube video for this. It's an A body. Chevy for the most part. The wagon makes it a little different, but these are the rear springs. Like, these are super heavy duty. I'll put in a picture here of the comparison with the new springs. These are way bigger, like just overall thickness and everything. But the rear, I jacked up a little bit right now, but it tucks the tire. And then you can see the springs. Let me go around this. So far. So there's you can see the new springs are red. What I did was I jacked the car up, took the wheels off, supported the rear end while the car was on jack stands, and then I took off the bottom shock mounts, and I had to take off the upper arms from the rear end to let it go down far enough because the springs were so beefy. I just couldn't come down enough. But once that was done, it was pretty easy. Everything came undone super fast, and it lowered the car quite a bit. It's funny, like with the car jacked up right now, I mean, it's big tilted, but the rear bumper, even on the ground, is lower than the back of the RX-7, which is pretty funny. So I'm stoked, glad to be doing this. I've been pushing it off for a while, but no longer. So I got 2-inch drop spindles for the front. So I got the rotor off, the caliper. I did new calipers and all new front brake lines and everything. I forgot to paint this side because the other side was pre-painted. This side, it wasn't. It was just raw, so you can tell it's like starting to get a little surfacey rust on it. So yeah, I'm hoping this drop spindle gives me a pretty good drop in the front. We'll have to see. Got the tire. So you take the nut off and you just hammer on the spindle until it pops. I got the cotter pins out of the lower and upper ball joint, and we'll knock those off and then hopefully get this thing off of here. Gonna do this one first, hammer on that, hopefully pop it out the top. So that's pretty funny. I've actually never had that happen before, where as I just undid the nut, I guess there was enough tension on this upper control arm for it to just remove itself from the spindle. I didn't even have to hammer on it or anything. So that's nice. So I don't think we're gonna get lucky with the bottom one the same way, but we will see. What is that, a 7/8? Yep. So let's see how loose it is. Do that one-handed. Got the work Crocs on. I'm so pale. I don't get a lot of sun. So far, so good. Knock on wood. It's been going pretty well. So I'm gonna have to hammer on this one a bit while I pull up on the top. All right, so I'm gonna call it for this evening because we're gonna go see Spider-Man and go out to dinner. But got this driver's side on. Everything's bolted up. I just gotta put cotter pins in, and then there's a weird like stickiness to the spindles. Like they put like some oil slick got on them or something after they painted, and it's like slick. But I don't know where I put. Oh, the other one's in the garage. But this is like a big difference. Like, well, 2 inches difference. So I gotta get a socket at the store for the axle nut because all my big sockets are at work, and I want to drive this to work on Monday. So I'm done for now. but I'm hopefully gonna do some stuff to the RX-7 soon. Like I've had the dash out of it for quite a while, and I'd like to put that back in. I don't know if I ever showed the seat. I bought this NRG Prisma GT seat. It's pretty cool. It's way better than the bride seat that I had in there, with like the halo things around the head and stuff. So yeah, I got this seat. Came with side mount rails, and I have the Techno Toy Tuning floor rails, so that attaches to that. But the car's kind of a disaster. I wanted to do an oil change on it this weekend. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow too. And I have an aluminum radiator I'm going to put in, but I want to ditch the clutch fan and use an electric fan, because the clutch fan is, I mean, I know it is effective and it works really well, but it's loud. You can't hear the motor over the clutch fan. And I think it's a big draw. Like, it's almost like if you've ever driven one of these cars with air conditioning with it on, it's like a huge draw. And like that tension on the, like the, I guess it's not necessarily the rotating assembly, but like the belt assembly. I don't know. I'm curious to see if it makes a difference. And if I don't like it, I can always just put it back. So I'll continue this tomorrow when I finish this up. All right, it is the next morning at like, I don't know, 9:30 or something. And got the other side done. And this side is done. I'll show you. So, all right, so this side is on. My glove is ripped. Got to re-grease the, I'm just gonna do the outer bearing. This is the old crusty piece. You can see how low the spindle is. Kind of heavy. Quite a difference. So, get everything situated here, get the hub back on, caliper back on, and then let her down. Easy. All right, so we're done. Front spindles are on. Rear springs are on. Definitely needs a little bit more low in the front. I like how the back sits, tucks the tire in. Put in a photo before here. So you can see there's, I think the rear, they're 2-inch springs, but they're pretty light duty compared to what came out since it's a wagon. So it's probably more like a 4-inch drop in the back. Ride's actually pretty good still. I don't know about with like shit in the back of the car, because it's empty right now and I use it a lot, so I like fill it up. But the fronts, so I'd say it's a pretty accurate 2-inch drop with the spindles alone. Probably gonna end up doing springs in the front as well. We'll have to see. So yeah, that's overall, I'd say I'm pretty happy with it. It did not take too long to do everything. So say it took like an hour to do the rear springs, and then like two and a half hours to do the front spindles, between like stopping and doing other stuff. But I like how low, like, the rear sits pretty low. I like just that line to the back bumper. I think it looks good. So now that that's out of the way, I'll be motivated to, you know, get going on the rest of the body work and stuff. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, stay tuned. This car's still around. I have a radiator to put in. I think I talked about that yesterday. And go back to doing what I was doing. Over here is my uncle's car that he asked me to sell for him. So I'm doing plugs because it's this car doesn't get driven very much. And when the AC's on, when you come to a stop, it stalls. like the idle is too low. So hopefully plugs will do the trick. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're they had the gap is a little tighter on the new ones. That end is a little longer, so we'll see. All they had was the auto light iridiums, so that's that. Catch you guys in the next one. My garage is a disaster, but I got the kit out from storage. It's for sale. It's on First Gen RX-7 Facebook, and I've got the doors up there, and the rest of the stuff is in my attic. So see if that sells, and then save myself some room.